Stop talking to yourself. Raise your hand if someone has said that to you. Or worse, you've caught yourself doing it in public and felt embarrassed. Here's the truth psychology doesn't want you to ignore. People who talk to themselves are not crazy. They're doing something their brain is literally designed to do. And the science behind it is going to change how you feel about this habit forever. Segment 1. Self-talk is not a bug, it's a feature. Let's start with what's actually happening in your brain when you talk to yourself. There's a process called inner speech. It's your brain's way of organizing thoughts, processing emotions, and making decisions. Every human being does it internally, but some people, their brain works better when that inner speech becomes outer speech. Research from the University of Wisconsin found that people who talk out loud to themselves while solving problems actually solve them faster. Not slightly faster, significantly faster. Why? Because when you speak your thoughts out loud, you're activating a different part of your brain than when you think silently. You're engaging your auditory processing centers, which creates a feedback loop. You hear your own thoughts, which helps you evaluate them more clearly. It's like the difference between thinking about a math problem and writing it down on paper. The external processing makes it real, tangible, clearer. So when you're in the grocery store muttering, okay, I need eggs and then I need to go to aisle 6, you're not losing it. You're doing exactly what high-performing brains do naturally. Segment 2. The emotional regulation connection. But it goes way deeper than task management. People who talk to themselves frequently tend to be better at regulating their emotions. And here's why. When something stressful happens, let's say you get a text that makes your stomach drop, your amygdala fires. That's your brain's emotional alarm. It floods you with cortisol, your heart rate spikes, and your body goes into reactive mode. Now, most people just sit in that feeling. They spiral. They overthink silently, which actually makes the anxiety worse because their brain is running in loops with no exit. But people who talk to themselves, they interrupt the loop. When you say out loud, okay, calm down, what are the facts here? What do I actually know? You're activating your prefrontal cortex. That's the rational part of your brain, and it physically calms down the amygdala. Psychologists call this self-distanced self-talk. It's when you refer to yourself by name or in the third person, like, come on, your name, you've dealt with worse. And research from the University of Michigan shows that this specific form of self-talk reduces anxiety more effectively than traditional positive affirmations. It creates a psychological distance between you and the emotion, so you can think clearly instead of just reacting. And this connects to something even more interesting. People who talk to themselves tend to share another trait that most people would never guess. Let me show you. Here's a fact that might surprise you. Multiple studies have linked frequent self-talk to higher cognitive function. A study published in the Quarterly Journal of Experimental Psychology found that self-directed speech improves memory, focus, and the ability to shift between tasks. The researchers called it a cognitive tool, not a quirk, a tool. Think about athletes. Tennis players talk to themselves between points. Basketball players give themselves instructions during free throws. Surgeons sometimes verbalize their next steps during complex procedures. These aren't signs of instability. These are signs of high-level cognitive processing. The connection is this. People who talk to themselves tend to be more self-aware, more analytically rigorous, and better at catching their own mistakes before they become problems. So if you've ever been embarrassed about muttering under your breath, stop. Your brain is literally performing better because of it. Now, I have to be honest here because psychology isn't one size fits all. There's a difference between functional self-talk, the kind that organizes, motivates, and regulates, and rumination, and that difference matters. Functional self-talk sounds like, okay, let me think through this. What's the best approach? It's forward-looking, problem-solving, constructive. Rumination sounds like, why did I say that? Why am I like this? I always mess everything up. It's backward-looking, self-punishing, circular. Same behavior on the outside, completely different processes on the inside. If your self-talk has become a loop of self-criticism that you can't stop, that's not your brain working well. That's your brain stuck in threat mode, and that's worth paying attention to. The key question to ask yourself is, when I talk to myself, do I feel clearer afterward or worse? If the answer is worse, it might be time to change the script. Not stop talking, change what you're saying. And let's address the elephant in the room. Why do people think talking to yourself is crazy? It comes down to social conditioning. From a young age, we're taught that talking without a conversation partner is weird, but that's a social rule, not a psychological one. In many cultures, verbal processing is completely normal. In individualistic Western cultures, internal processing became the norm, and anything external got stigmatized. But here's what's funny. The same people who judge someone for talking to themselves will happily narrate their dog's thoughts, sing in the shower, or argue with their GPS. We all talk to ourselves. Some of us just do it out loud. And the data says those people, they're not less sane, they're more self-aware. So the next time you catch yourself talking through a problem out loud, don't feel weird about it. Feel grateful. Your brain gave you an upgrade. If you talk to yourself and always thought something was wrong with you, I hope this section changed that. Drop a brain in the comments if you're a self-talker.